Hey, it's your girl Barbie J here, and we are talking about Tyler Perry's comedy drama Sistas, Season 4, Episode 9, Counterpunch. Okay, so this episode was a little slow for me. I don't know about the rest of you guys, but that's how I felt. So before we get into this recap, shout out to everybody in my comment section. Thank you for holding my channel down. And for those of you who have not subscribed as of yet, please take a moment, hit the subscribe button. Then please hit that notification bell and it'll let you know every time I upload a new video or content. And then after that, smash that like button, write a comment, and share the video. Now let's get started. So, of course, it started how it ended. Zach's getting arrested, and Zach's like, this is some BS, man. This is BS. What is going on? And the officer won't tell him why. He's like, you got to give me something. And she stated she doesn't have to tell him anything. It's between him and the judge. And they're like, what judge? And so Jake is asking questions too. And she told Jake she's not even speaking to him. So she ignored his questions except the one when he asked which prison is she taking him to. And she said Fulton County. So Zach asked Jake to please call Fatima. And Jake said, okay, I got you, and he said, I know some people over there at Fulton and I'll meet you over there. So that's cool. You just met Zach, but you already down to go meet him over at a prison. I tell you, Zach be lucking up because that's the same thing happened with Fatima getting, helping him out. Then we got Fatima and Andi. They're sitting in her office chatting about the penthouse and stuff. And Andi admits that she's a stupid A, because she's falling for Gary's bullcrap, all the stuff he's buying her and stuff and how he's treating her, all the little things she think is romantic. So Fatima tells her she's not stupid or something like that. And she goes and gets her this a rubber band ball and lays some good advice on her about it. And Fatima tells Andi that she can have Robin and Gary's money, but she will keep her Zach any day because he is blowing her. And Andi jumped in back out. Blowing her back out. She said, well, that too, but my mind, he's really blowing my mind. She said, well, go Zach. So Andi did compliment her about the way she handled herself last night, she said, with Karen. And Fatima tells Andi that Karen was with the preacher man around the same time as Zach. So when you see Andi's face, she looks pretty surprised, like she didn't know that Karen even slept with the man. So that's why Fatima's saying, it's very important to get that that paternity test done. And so something else came up. She kept saying, Fatima's like, that's not Zach's baby. And Andi told her, don't hold your breath or something like that. She said, by the way, she's still my friend, so let's keep it cool. And she's like, okay, fine. But she said, I'll be praying to the Lord that it's not. I want to be the one to have Zach's babies. And I said, I hear that, girl. Anyhow, then they show Maurice. He's asking Sabrina not to call the police on Q. And Maurice keeps saying that Q is a good guy. He just had never had anybody be nice to him. I find that hard to believe because Q seems like he could be a really nice person. So I can't believe that nobody's ever been nice to him before. But you don't know people's past anyway. And he told her what Q did to get out of jail. So Sabrina's not okay with this, and she wants to talk to Maurice further, but he tries to walk away from her, and help a customer. In the meantime, Logan's at the airport telling Danny she stood him up, and Logan feels that Danny is closed down and shut off and wants to know why, what man did what to you. And Danny said, you're arrogant, thinking all women are supposed to be falling all over you like you all that or something like that. And he said, yeah. She said, how about I'm just not interested in you, So he walks away, and then Andi calls and tells Danny she wants to go out for drinks and dinner to talk. And Danny's wondering why, like something ain't right here. She was going to call the other girls, and she said, no, just me and you. And she's like, is everything okay? And she said, yeah. She said, are you buying? she, Daddy, are you buying? She's like, yeah, drinks and dinner. So where we going? To the Olive Park, wherever that is. I said, is that supposed to be like the Olive Garden? The Olive Park. Then Bio, he shows up at the Sabrina's bank, says he went branch to branch looking for her to give her a proper apology and ask her out because she looks beautiful like the women in his country and all this stuff. And she's like, I'm not interested, kind of trying to be. So she's like, do you have business? Because, he's holding up the line at the window. And so he says he wants to make a withdrawal amount of 200,000 in cash. But Sabrina's like, she looks at his account because she see how much money is in his bank, and she's like, well, we don't have that much in the branch, money. He's like, oh, okay. He said, for a minute, I thought you was going to say I was broke. And she's like, I'm looking at that thing. Homeboy had $36 million in one account. 36 million in account. So he walks out, and I don't know what made Maurice go over there, because Maurice doesn't even know him. He didn't know that was the guy that had to fight with him, because he never met him. But Maurice noticed something. He said, look, he got 11 other accounts. He made her turn the screen so he could see. I'm not allowed to do that. I'm not supposed to do that. That's confidential. Sabrina is the worst bank manager ever. I'm sorry. You in everybody's business and need to just stop it. That is a violation, So he turns the screen and he sees that 36 million. He's like, oh my God. And he's telling Sabrina she should go out with him. And she's like, no, not after what happened with Calvin. And he was like, F that zero. He's like, do you see all of them zeros? I was cracking up. He calls Calvin a zero. So she said she don't care about, don't care about men with money. And he said, that's the damn reason you dress the way you do. But I got to tell y'all something, because I've noticed this. In the last few episodes, they have Sabrina dressing kind of old and haggard with all of these prints and flowers and stuff matching. Because I know I used to enjoy, she's like frumpy. She's kind of frumpy looking. And I used to enjoy her outfits. She used to come into that branch with some fly outfits on that I used to love. And I haven't seen them in about 2 months now. And that's crazy. I don't understand what they're doing to her character. But she used to come in there looking on point all the time. Anyway, so then Sabrina informs Maurice that corporate thought he was involved with Q's thing, the setup and stuff, and they wanted to fire him. He said, well, you knew I wouldn't. She said, that's not me, up to me, it's up to them. So basically, if they see him with Q now and everything, there's going to be a problem. He might lose his job. So Maurice told her to worry about herself, and he got himself. I got me, he said. And if she don't want a man with the millions, hell, he said, I'll get dressed up and go after him. He said, I'll find my longest wig and my tightest dress and everything, a shorter, and I'll go over there. And he said, I'll be able to make it sound like he giving him head. He said, I'll do whatever I have to do. She's like, stop it. We're at the break. We're at work. Anyway, they show Fatima calling Zach and leaving him a message that she's been calling him all day and will stop by later. And then Fatima goes into Andi's office and asks, do she need her for anything else? And she said, no, that's okay. She said, okay, I was expecting you to ask me to get movers, to put your stuff back in your apartment. She said, no, you don't have to worry about that now. And she said, well, what do you want me to still look into my friend about the Rolls Royce? And she said, no, you don't have to. She said, well, damn, are you going to keep everything? She's like, I'm not sure. Oh, you taking, she said, you keeping all his ish. And Andi was looking so guilty. Then it goes over to Aaron. He approaches Karen at the salon and asks did she see his timeline. And she kind of snapped at him because she said he went in there. He said, I text you. And she said, yet you still came. He said, you didn't reply. And she's like, yet you still came, right? And she informed him that she made an appointment with the doctor and at Vanguard Hospital but she gonna see when they could fit her in or something. He said, well, I know the chief of staff there, I could get you in and stuff. And she's like, I'll wait my turn. And she's just like really snappy with him, and he's all excited and eager to know. He's like, why you want to wait that long? And anyway, Karen was so cold, and he leaves out and gets into his car, and Karen walks over to Pam, and they're talking, and she said, why is he still there? Why is he still sitting in his car? And Pam looks and said, oh my God, he's in there crying. And Karen was like, oh man. So she see this, and she goes out there and she apologizes to him, and they both admit they're trying to process all that's going on. And she says, we can be friends, but he wants more than that. And she swears to him that the baby is not his, even though he wants it to be his. And he disagrees with her, as he should, until we find out the truth. And basically she said she'll call him later. And he said, I won't call you. I'll wait for that call. She said, no, if you want to call, you could call. I said, now why you say that, Karen? Because you got tired and you told him you need your space. And he likes to call. So don't say that. Then we have Andi calling Gary, asking where are her things. And he said he'll have the movers bring her stuff back. But she was like, you don't want to keep it? He was trying to get her to keep it. And she said the apartment, he was saying the apartment is hers. But she's saying, and I understand this, what she's saying, but you bought it and will always be thinking it's yours. And he was like, no, it's yours. I want you to keep it. I want you to have it. She said, Gary, you know how you are. You're going to keep popping up and stuff like that. And I don't want that, So he wants to come over and walk her through the apartment, but she doesn't want that. She doesn't think it's a good idea. And he said, ask why, you don't trust yourself. And she said, no, I don't trust you, or something like that. I said, ooh, okay. All right now. So he asks her to think about it, and she's like, no, and hangs up on him. So she starts unraveling that daggone rubber band ball. She was getting really angry and taking the rubber bands off, and then she just threw the damn ball and said, forget this. So then we see Fatima. She comes up behind Hayden in the parking garage, laughing and stuff and giggling and offering to help him, but he was like, stop it, stay away from me, leave me alone. And and he says she was wrong for having him beat up like that, and he never did anything to her. And they had this back and forth going on about how this started, because he just can't understand what she sees in Zach, but he does see how far she'll go for him. And she said, that's right, and you ain't seen how far. She said, because I'll go even farther. So she said, you started this by messing with my man. She said, you punched and I just counterpunched. Hence the title of this episode. And he was still saying she was wrong. And she said he was wrong for what he did to her, hitting her in her face. She said, you want me to take off this makeup so you could see? And she started threatening him that if she hear anything about this, or her name coming up about him getting beat up, that what he experienced the other day will seem like a day at the spa. I said, damn, she gonna tear him up, and they gonna do worse work on that man. I said, oh, okay. So at this point, she's leaving home. Leaving work. She don't even know that Zach's been arrested. So Calvin comes home, and Q is sitting on the daggone couch. And he lied and said that Maurice let him in. Because Calvin's like, how'd you get in here? Maurice let me in. And he said I could stay for a few days and all this stuff. And he said, without talking to me. So he's like, I'm going to call him now. You don't have to call him. He said he's on his way home. Calvin calls him and puts it on speaker. And Maurice told Q, get the F out of my house. He's like, I did not say you could stay there. So he told Calvin he was coming home. So we see Q going to be a problem. And OMG, did Andi pull up to Karen's salon in the Rolls Royce? I knew she was going to start driving that car. We all knew it. I want to know what she did with her car, because she only had one parking spot. Oh, she get to park it for the penthouse. Maybe the penthouse got 2 parking spaces. She could park both her cars. What y'all think? But all of a sudden, she's a bit nicer. Did y'all notice she a bit nicer to Pam? Usually Andi come in the salon, and Pam asks about her clothes and where she got it from and stuff. That it's not polite to do. she's usually a little bit stuck up, towards her. And I mean, that's if you ask me, that's my opinion. Andy's a little stuck up to Pam sometime. So Karen comes in, she pulls in, and she's already spotted the rolls and stuff, and she asked Pam to go out and get some stuff out her car. And Pam's asking about that Rolls Royce, and she won't go out there and check it out. And Andy said, "It's so nice, right?" And she already told me Andy she like her pocketbook, and Andy was giggling about that. Yeah, it's nice. I said, "Look at you, all this stuff you done got, and you all giggly, listening to Pam saying how much she liked the car and look all that, and she's admiring it." And so Karen's like, "Okay, Andy, so what's going on?" And she asked her if she's keeping it, and she said, "Oh, well, Fatima has a guy who wants to put a bid on it." Liar, liar, pants on fire. You basically told Fatima that you wasn't interested in selling it. That's what I heard. I don't care, even though it was a maybe. And then so Karen asked about the penthouse. And Andy said, "Oh, I love it. I love it." And she said, "I knew you would." She said, "But I can't keep it." And Karen said, "Because he gonna keep showing up like he owns you." And she's like, "I know. So sell it." She said, "I'm going to sell it and then give him his money back." That's what Karen said. I mean, that's what Andy said she was going to do. Sell it and give him money back. And Karen said, "Yeah, that's the right thing to do." But she said, "You're not fooling me, because that's why you called Danny." She said, "Well, I just wanted to I just wanted different perspectives." How did Karen know that Andy called Danny? Let's be real, because Karen and Danny, it's not like they talk all the time. It's Danny and Sabrina, and it's Karen and Andi. So how in the world did she find out already that Andi wanted to go out with Danny, or called her? That's what I was wondering. So then Andi asked Karen when she's going to the doctor, and she said when they could fit me in. She said, "Well, I want to go." She said, "So I have to go with you and be there with you." So please, she said, "Okay." She said, "Seriously, so please let me know." And she said, "I will." So Karen said she would, and Andi leaves out. She's like, "Pam, get out my car." Pam all up in the Rolls Royce. "Pam, get out my car." I said, "That damn Pam is funny." And then it ended with Zach in jail, and they said, his lawyers are there. He's like, "Lawyers? What lawyers I got?" And I was sitting there wondering why Jake hadn't called Fatima yet. What was going on? So Zach gets out there. He sees Jake with this other guy, and he goes, "Did you call Fatima?" He said, "No." He said, "What you mean?" He said, "I was going to." "What do you mean I was going to? Why you didn't call her?" He said, "I don't think you would want her to know this." And I said, "What is it?" Somebody else said maybe he has a baby or a child with somebody else, but it just can't be just that he's getting arrested for child support. He haven't paid child support until he got a 16-year-old daughter or something. I mean, he 36. He might have a 16-year-old daughter he ain't never took care of. I don't know. What could it be? So you hear Zach go, "Oh, you got to be kidding me. How is this even possible?" So next week, we got to find out what's going on. And why is Karen at Zach's again over there talking to Fatima? It's just, it's a bit much. So let me know if I left anything out. Let me hear what y'all thinking about the episode yourselves. And I'll see you in the next video. It's your girl, Barbie J, saying peace.